Alright my Vesterians, welcome back to the channel. I apologize for not posting recently. This video was meant for Wednesday, but things got a little busy, so here it is. Now today's video is basically a guide on why you're using your Assassin's build wrong. I've been playing Assassin for quite a long time now, so I know everything the class has to offer. Hopefully I could teach you guys a thing or two that you don't already know that you should be using. Now, if you're new to the channel, I give away 3 gold tiers every week, or at least I've been staying on top of it. I had one planned this week Friday, but like I said before, things got a little busy. So that'll probably push around Sunday, maybe late Saturday, along with a mini cursing session. Now that pretty much wraps it up. Make sure you guys join the Discord and let us jump right into it. Okay, so the most common mistake I see players make when maining Assassin is they only use the dagger alone because of how OP it is. And while that is true, the Assassin class is a hunter class, which uses both the bow and the dagger. And in my opinion, the bow is just as good, maybe better if utilized properly. But before we move on to the why, let me tell you guys the required gear for this so-called busted build. So you're going to need the Incisor. This thing is probably the best dagger for Assassins as of right now. It boosts all critical damage by 50%. It is strictly only for the dagger. It does not convert to the bow's damage, so don't expect that to happen. Next, you're going to need either a Swift or a Fierce Hobo. I use a Swift. It doesn't really matter for the build we're using. A clean Fierce or Swift adds plus 10 Dex or plus 10 Strength, which is what we need for this build. Then we have the Skin Ratty Hat, and this headpiece also drops from the Pit Ratties down in the pits. It is very good in this build because it has plus 0.5 attack speed, and this is very crucial when using your bow because you're basically dealing double the amount of damage compared to if you weren't using the headpiece. Now it also has plus 5 strength, the original 0.5 attack speed, and 34 dex if you use all great scrolls. Lastly, we have the Dustworm Longbow. This longbow is located in the dunes. It drops from our Dustworms. I believe it has a 0.35% chance of dropping. It is the superhero of the build because of its perk. Its perk is Acidic Arrows. Critical strikes on enemies create a splash of acid, which basically deals mini explosions every time you crit. So you have to have a decent amount of crit chance. I prefer you guys get a Fierce or a Swift. I have a Legendary for obvious reasons, but you need a Fierce or Swift so you get the strength and dex, which is needed for this build. Now that you have the required gear for this build, let us buckle down onto the stats and skills. So you're going to need a minimum of 90 dex. This will provide you with 4 arrows, so every time you shoot your bow, it'll eject 4 arrows. Then you're going to put the rest into strength. I have an abnormal amount of strength, but you only need around 130, 140 to get the job done. You're not going to put any into Vit or Int. Those are pretty useless stats for Assassins, so I don't recommend you guys do that. Then let's move on to the Hunter book. You're going to max out Double Jump, Execute, and Shunpo. You're not going to put any into Barrage because, hint hint, it's kind of garbage. Then we're going to move on to the Assassin's book. You're going to max out Shadow Flurry and, of course, Shadow Walk. This is very crucial for our shotgun build, but I'll get to that in a little bit. You're not going to put any into Step Through Shadow. I haven't seen myself using this for quite a while, so I don't recommend you guys use this either. Right now, you're probably thinking, Nitro, what is this shotgun build you're talking about, bro? Well, it's actually pretty self-explanatory. The reason why we put 90 into Dex and the rest into Strength was so that we could have 4 arrows for our bow, right? Well, with the mini explosions, it acts as a mini shotgun. The farther away, the less damage it does. The closer you are, the more damage it deals. And of course, the mini explosion is on every crit chance. Now, you're going to need to combine this with invisibility. Invisibility is key to this build because it is your main damage dealer. So when you're popping an invisibility and you're close up and you hit 4 arrows, that is what is going to deal most of your damage. And since we're going for the balanced build, you need to analyze on whether or not you should be switching from your bow to your dagger or your dagger to your bow. So let's say you miss a flurry and someone tries to run up on you. You could switch to your invisibility shotgun, and let's say you're out of your invisibility and someone tries to run up on you. Well, you could pop your flurry. And if you're unaware with what the hotkey is to swap weapons, you can go into settings and there is a swap weapons key in there for you to set. That wraps it up for today's Busted Builds guide. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I wish to see more Assassins use this underrated strat. Make sure you guys join the Discord, enjoy the mini clips, and I'll catch you guys later.